Recently just found out about Uno, and Uno is a great kind of classroom management strategy for the springtime. So I was listening to this podcast, This Teacher Life, and Monica is a down to earth educator, and she talks about this Uno classroom management strategy. So I highly suggest you listen to this episode because I'm just going to give a quick overview of this strategy, but she has a lot of other great podcasts as well. So the first thing is the rules. So the first thing that students are going to do is they have to be caught meeting the goal. And you're going to put today's goal right here. And it just might be one focus. In the episode, she talks about maybe using pencils. Everybody has a pencil. If that's the case, at the end of the class, we would draw an Uno card. Maybe it was every student had 50% Chromebook charged. Okay. Kind of thinking about those different things that happen in your classroom and making that a goal. And again, if you want to, you could do it throughout the class or you could do it as like an end of class reward. Here you can see here there's 100 points. You could change the starting points off too. So 100 points is going to be the goal. They have to get down to zero. First class to get to zero wins. She also talks about having maybe just one class you could do this with, but having that scoreboard can kind of make it competitive and a lot of fun as well. So again, if you want to know more details on that, listen to the podcast because it was really, really good. Okay. So now that we've got our kind of points here, and she said you could do 100, 75, 50, whatever you wanted to do, you could lower these class points. So right here, you're going to have students draw different cards. They can draw by an actual physical Uno deck, or there's this YouTube video I found. And if you hit play, it will show all the random Uno cards, and then your students would just say pause, and then you would stop it, and that is the card that they would get. So either way could be a lot of fun. So with the numbers, you're going to subtract those number points. So if they draw an 8, they're going to subtract 8 from their total. If they draw a 5, they're going to subtract 5 from their total. Okay, so pretty easy with the number cards. If they draw a skip, they get 0 points. It just goes on to the next day. A wild, they get to draw again, and that card is doubled and subtracted. So if they draw 2, you're going to double that. So 4, they get to subtract 4 from their points. If they drew an 8, 16. Okay, so they get to double it and then subtract. If they get a reverse, this is where you can have the multiple classes and it can be kind of fun. They get to pick a class and that class gets added their number that they draw. So they're going to draw a reverse and then they're going to draw another card. And if they draw a 4, that class then has to subtract or add 4 to their total. So they would be at 104. You could use the reverse differently if you just have one class. Totally up to you. This wild draw 4, they get to pull 4 cards from the deck. So if they maybe get 2, 8, maybe they get a skip, they get to add all of those different points up for their total. And then step number 3 is that first class to 0 wins. And then you as a group can decide what that prize is. Extra recess. Maybe it is every student gets to bring snacks in. Maybe it is a popsicle party. Something like that is the class reward for the student who gets down to 0. So again, I thought this would be a really fun activity to introduce during the springtime. Cannot wait to see if this helps your students. I know the last couple weeks of school, the last couple months can be really difficult. So just another strategy to put into your toolbox.